Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. We're glad you made it. If you haven't seen the previous 3 videos, we refinished this old door. It's about 100 years old, got it into place, and now we've decided, since we were in this area and it's not that big of an area anyway, that we're going to go ahead and just sort of redo this and move on to the next project afterwards. So what we're going to do in here is retrim all the doors. All the base molding will be done differently and do some board batten along these walls, as well as, if it looks good, we're going to see, I've got some old beams that I got off of a job. The house was 130 or 40 years old, and we're going to see what it looks like if we space them out evenly and run them up on the ceiling. So right now I'm in the process of getting materials list up. I figured out the door trim already. And now I'm going to lay out the board and batting to see how many 1-bys I'm going to need for that. So should be a pretty cool transformation. The only thing I'm not certain about is the floor. My wife kind of likes it. It's old brick tile. I'm not too keen on it, but I don't win those arguments. So we're going to see what that looks like, and we may end up at some point in the future redoing the whole floor here, which is not a big area. It's about 4 feet by 13, so it's not that big. So it wouldn't be that much flooring to get it all done. But anyway, so that's what we're going to do today. Thank you so much for coming along, and we're going to get right to work. Here's what we've got so far. The layout is going to be, I'm using a 1x6 to case this opening. So I measured from the reveal right here, and the reveal is the part of your jamb that, as you can see there, it's usually 3/16. Seems to be a little more here, doesn't matter. So I pulled from here to there, 5.5 inches, and then over here for our 1x4, 3.5 inches from the corner, and then found the center of that. And then from the center I went over 1.75 inches, That gives us our 1-by in the middle. And what this will give us was 2 panels at 21 7/8 for each of them. Okay, and so these lines up here represent the top of the 1x4, which is, I want to go a full 5 feet. But I'm going to have to stay under it 1 inch because I don't want to move this guy. So it'll be right underneath there. So I'm just going to repeat the process of laying out over here and over here. This part, the front, our 1-by is going to come to right there. So I don't know. That's what you kind of get into in the little spaces like that. So we'll have to fiddle with it a little bit and see what that turns out to look like. And the same thing over here. Well, there's a little more room, so we'll just have to figure that out and see what would look best there. So, all right, so we got it all laid out. This is the long wall. Worked out that there's 4 panels at 28 1/8. All this shorter side wall, there is 4 panels, 2 on each side at 22. You're never going to get them to work out just perfectly unless you've got the exact dimensions on each side. So you get them close enough to where your eye will be tricked into thinking that everything is same size. So now all we got to do is rip off all this old trim, all this old clamshell stuff, and then fix this whole jamb's coming out. I don't know. They had louvered doors here at one point, 2 louvered doors that would swing closed. So that's weird. But anyway, we're going to head to the Home Depot now and get everything else that we need. Come back, start ripping it out, and putting it back together. Well, the Home Depot run took a little bit longer because we had to go to 2 Home Depots. So I'm gonna get in here, rip out all this old trim. So the other thing I did was originally we had 3-4 panels, and I didn't like how wide it was. The panels were 28 inches, I think, something like that. So found the center in between each panel. We're doing another one. So now they're thinner, looks better. The only thing that stinks about that is now I've got to go in around the light switches, which I'll show you how to do that. It just takes a little bit longer. Other than that, we are ready to go. So the first thing we're going to do is find our tape measure. The thing we're going to do is go ahead and cut all the 1x6s for the side of the doors. Always cut off the factory edge whenever you're wanting something to be nice and straight, because they're not always cut off square. And if you get the prime, you can see sometimes that priming builds up on the end there, and that'll hold you off and create a little bit of a gap. We don't want that. So I'm going to cut the first two 80.5. Okay, so I got pulled away, didn't get as much done as I was planning on getting done today, which really I got nothing done. I did cut all the trim around the doors, side pieces, so I'm going to install that. What we are going to get done tonight is I'm going to go ahead and show you how I do the top. You can call it the capital, you can call it whatever you want. The top of the trim there, it's a 4-piece, yeah, 4-piece, and then I'm really not doing this for you. I'm doing it for my wife because she likes to come and stare at stuff while I'm doing it. So I want to give her something nice to stare at. So I'm going to nail this one up, and then we'll move to the shop. Man, it's really cold too. It's like in the 20s with the wind blowing. So my shop is freezing, but we'll get this one done tonight, get the rest of them done hopefully tomorrow. All right, so cut around this. This looks way better now. So the lock set there looks like it's meant to be there instead of an afterthought. All right, so now we'll go to the shop. I'll put this together and install it, and then we'll call it a night. Okay, so this is how I do it. Again, there are a million ways to do it. Not a million, but there's a lot of ways to do it. You might find a way that you like doing it better, but basically we've got the 1x6 cut to 43 5/8, which is from outside to outside of our vertical trim pieces. And then we've got a 1/2 inch piece of 1x material cut 45 5/8, so it'll go an inch past each end. And then we've got a top piece that is cut at 47, so it's 4 inches longer because we're putting bed molding underneath here. And then once we get the bed mold on, that'll give us the reveal that we're going for, which is about 3/4 of an inch all the way around. So your bed molding, you'll have 3/4 inch from it to the top of your workpiece. Same thing on this side here. Make sure, double check. Yeah, so we'll have 3/4. So let's assemble this and then we'll cut the bed molding for that. So I'm going to assemble this laying flat like this. All right, so we're ready to cut. Like I was saying, you got to mind the other part is you flip it over. Now, it can get kind of tricky. It's like cutting crown mold. So you actually flip the workpiece over, make sure it's resting against the fence. And that's your cut. So the short point is there. So we'll pull from that point, the short point, 43 5/8. We'll sit there. So, here's my mark. Flush against the bed. Now we're going to turn the saw to the opposite 45-degree angle. So there you go, that's your front piece here. That's the front piece. That will sit just like that. So that's in. Now we have to make this turn. And so we know the thickness of this is 3/4 of an inch. So we go from square to short, 3/4 of an inch on both sides. So we'll go back over to the saw. So let's square off this end. Let's pull over 3/4. That's our short point. Turn the saw to 45 degrees. Again, make sure you're rested flush on your bed here and on the fence. Now just do the opposite, square off this end. Pull 3/4. "45 degrees. See how we did. All right, we look good. All right, so usually what you do, and I don't have any activator, so you glue these, which you have activator for your super glue, which I don't have, so it means we're gonna have to sit here for a second while it stiffens up. So you just hold this lined up. That keeps that miter nice and tight. So what the activator does is causes it to set really quickly. Nope, dang it. All right, so we'll put this on. I don't like nailing these little pieces because they're prone to splitting because they're so small. But when you attach this to your board, make sure your short points are right at the edge. And the same thing is on the saw. You want to make sure that it is seated flat on the workpiece, so you get the proper angle. All right, fingers crossed. I'm gonna try and nail this. See what happens. And using brads help too because they're a lot smaller. That's one. I'm gonna go ahead and put some glue on there. There you go. That's what it looks like once it's done. So now we'll go in the house and we'll install it and then we'll call it a night. Now all we do is take it. I've got an inch mark here so I know we're over where we're supposed to be there. So set it in there nice and tight. So there we go. We got one door done. That's what it's looked like. Got 3 more to go. Finish this big opening up. Finish that, and then we can start running our board and batten. But that's all I'm going to do for tonight.